He's only got 4 megabytes.
Hey everyone, thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Liverpool Connection Podcast PubChat. We're back in the pub at BD Riley's, our favorite Irish pub in all of the land. I have Jono, I have Dirty with me on a Champions League Wednesday.
Oh, glorious.
I'm out of breath already, man. So, Jono.
Holy shit. that was something else, man. I missed the first 50 minutes. You guys will have to fill me in on that. Not the race over, but that was, for me, about, 85 minutes of just pure stress. And then 5 minutes of just gloriousness.
Yeah, I tend to shut out most of that match because it was just, it was was it one of the worst displays we've seen, or were we playing within ourselves? Like, it really comes down to what were the tactics. Because if the tactics were, yeah, just let them shoot at us all the time and let Allison be brilliant, then we got it spot on that first half. And then after that, it was kind of second half. I thought we came out, struggled a bit at the beginning, but kind of grew into it. The substitutes made a difference. Ultimately, it was Nunez. It was the substitutes again. It was Harvey just doing a thing that needed to be done, and good in for him. It's nice to see him do well after some of the not playing really any minutes these past games when we thought this was it. It's like, but today was kind of it. Like, this is it. Like, this last second winner, smash and grab, more grab than smash. I don't think we smashed the whole match. Like, it was a moment, and I'm happy with it.
We're all happy with it. Coming into the match, we're going down to Paris. Obviously, hopefully, all of the traveling comp, they had safe travels and not having the same experiences as the last time we were in Paris. But, PSG, we're kind of unlucky drawing them because they have been on they're very in form, right? We can say what we want about Farmers League, but you look at their lineup, they have players all over the pitch. And they showed today, and like you said, Justin, was it our tactics of saying, okay, let's get out of here with a draw? Because we were taking the piss out of the game. Um, we're doing like the Emmy Martinez. We're taking forever on the goal kicks. We're really taking the piss out of the game earlier. So it seemed to me we were okay with playing for a draw on the road in the Champions League. Obviously, the only question on who's going to play the 9 today, and it was Jota today, because the rest of the team picks itself. Right? There's nobody else that's going to displace the other 9 outfield players. It's really the number 9 is really the only place that he's going to make changes, with Gapco being not available, right? So there's Diaz was always going to be on the left, and who is he going to play, Nunez or Jota through the front? And so we conceded a lot of possession. I think, what was it, 70-30, Jono, in this game, and it was interesting to see that we didn't really press them. They had a lot of energy, and but what was our setup the reason they were able to have that, or is it because they were just playing out of their mind?
I think it was a bit of both. You could argue that possession-wise and territory-wise and so on, it was a little bit like the City game. But the City game was comfortable because they were an older team. They couldn't really hurt us as much, and never really felt like they would. And it felt like every time we attacked, it was dangerous. Today was very different. We seeded the attack. I think it was partly on us and our setup. And by the way, also an option was to play like we did with City with Jones and Soboslai, a double 10 instead of Jota. We didn't go that way, and I don't know whether that was a smart decision or not. I think maybe we slightly improved when we kind of brought Jones on, but we brought Nunez on, so we didn't really change to that either. But also, I think a big difference between that City game and this one was, they're a far better team than City right now, and I think they're the best team in Europe right now. They're lightning fast. They got players that are just on huge form. Dembele's just skinning people left and right. Kvaratskhelia looks dangerous. Barcola. all those guys just look really dangerous and quick, and they're quick in the midfield too. I think our midfield is excellent, but they got beat out of it mostly tonight. But we just dug in, and it was just one of those where I felt like we were just counting minutes from about 30 minutes in, and just like we got to get to 35. Okay, we got to get to 40.
5-minute blocks.
And
all right, cool.
yeah.
All right, cool.
So I think it was partly on us in terms of the way we set up was maybe a little bit too like we're going to go like City or something away game, but just also that they're a brilliant team in excellent form right now. What do you think?
Is like I don't know the first half. I don't know. We're sitting back. I mean, I think the idea is to just take a bit of the spice out of it, but we were just allowing the spice. I mean,
Too much spice.
Too much. It was too much. Like really, and we couldn't get forward. I don't know what was going on with Mo. Like, it's hard to kind of pick up via cameras on the television what's exactly going on. But I'll Jota is like he hasn't really returned to his imperial best, like the one that we would say like he is the guy. Basically, there's been times where we're like, he's the guy that's going to score the goals, right? I mean, this year has been Mo for the most part, and today was just shut off. And if it was on Jota to do the business, he didn't really show up and do it. Like he looked very slow, looked sluggish, and like so I was waiting for Nunez to come on and do kind of what he did, was just pin the defenders back, pin them, like win a header, like win something, do something. It's like I have all the faith in Jota whenever we have the ball, but it's when we don't have the ball that I'm concerned. It's like if we're pressed too high and we got to dump into Jota, it's not really, he's not going to hold it up as well as even a Nunez does. Or so the first half was a bit of torture, and the second half wasn't that much better. But when I saw Indo come on, and for me, like 0-0 prior to the match would have been great. I would have taken a 1-0 like to PSG at 60. But I mean, to pull off this to where it's like, we're taking a goal back to Anfield. We can't be as bad at Anfield, can we? Like, that's the question. Can we be as bad? What can we do differently? What will that look like? What will Arna do? Because honestly, Arne Slot's substitutions again saved the day, did they not? I mean, we can look at it like that. Like Nunez assist to Harvey Elliott, left-footed screamer. I mean, I'll take it. Like, it's like, and God bless Harvey Elliott. Like, honestly, the fact that he's just kept in, he's a Liverpool like player through and through. Will he stay the course throughout the Arne Slot era? I don't know. But today he made his mark. And if we go on the march to win this after this, then Allison will stand up proud. Harvey Elliott can stand up proud today as well. So,
I mean, you guys know me, man. As long as they're wearing the red shirt, you support them. Talk about transfers and who's leaving when that time comes, man. But until then, we have things to accomplish. And you're right about the Salah was kind of missing today, and but I mean he was marked out of it. But then there's a couple times he had chances to take somebody on, and that defender really did well against him. He stole the ball from every single time they tried to take him on the dribble.
The only good thing is that will be in Mohamed Salah's mind on Tuesday.
Of course it will.
It will be in his mind.
Of course.
He will go out to score a hat trick that day.
At home, it will be different. I know we were discussing during the games, like as we were really getting beaten back, right? I mean, our passing percentage was like right around 74% at one time. I'm like, that's unlike us. And we're talking about what can we, besides the crowd, which I know is such a great influence, but what can we do differently from today? Because without Allison, man of the match, clearly, and like you said, it's never been so clear that one person's the man of the match over somebody else, right? What can we do differently in the next leg at home that will alleviate that? Because the pitches are saying they're going to come out at us. But before we get to their 0-0 at halftime, like I said, we're like, couldn't wait till halftime because we were really battling. And when I say battling, that's pretty evident that McAllister, Zoboslai,
We're fucking
Granberry,
lucky.
we're battlers. We're battlers. We're lucky we have the best keeper in the world.
You earned that luck.
But they had the offsides. They had a goal offside by margins, right? And the decision against or not against Kanate, where I was surprised they had the VAR for a red card. I was like, okay. So obviously that will be a talking point for especially the Parisians that were watching the game. Like, it should have been a red card, dog. So penalty kick, or outside the box, he's a red card, or inside the box is a penalty kick, yellow card. But no call by the ref. It wasn't overturned. So we kind of got lucky. I would say lucky because some refs will call that, some will not. Right?
Like if it's given, you can't have any complaints.
Right.
But I can see why it's not. Like I see those, I see that every week in the Premier League. It's a bouncing ball. It's two guys going for a thing. Like he didn't trip him up. It's just one is stronger than the other type of thing. It's like honestly, it is, but it isn't. I mean, and the ref doesn't give it. So yeah, all we can do is just be happy with that. So hey.
Hey.
Shone down.
That's right. Let there be light.
That's right.
At the end of these two legs, let there be light.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, because that, like you said, at the end of the day, it's about getting through. We're at halftime on this fixture, right?
Yeah.
But as the
For
way,
all that, though, I'm not trying to argue that clearly they had the better chances and probably should have been up by more goals. But we had chances on the break that we just didn't connect with. That we could have stolen one earlier in the match. There's the ball, I think it was second half, where Salah could have put with a bit better curve on it, Nunes through before we scored. But even I think earlier there was a couple of chances here and there. Not that's not definitely not to argue that like we were equal to them or we were still unlucky. We were still lucky for sure, and partly lucky, but partly also we got the best freaking goalkeeper in the world. So let's just acknowledge that we signed the best goalkeeper in the world. He's better than that big goofus that they have in the goal. So that's good for us, right? But and then
who signed Allison?
I believe Philip Coutinho decided to, help us with that one.
He doesn't want to say FSG, but obviously, we joke around every once in a while. But so 0-0, they're still pressing us, and Slot makes the changes, right? Brings Salah off, which he's kind of pissed.
Well,
but
first of all, Salah was later. I think we should first go to Jones and Nunes come on for Diaz and Jota, right? What did you think of that particular switch?
Well, I thought because I think we were calling Jota looked like he was tired. Let's go get Nunes in, occupy the center backs, win some of the headers, which led to that goal, right?
Yeah.
And then
And
bringing Jones in. I thought Jones was fucking immense when he came in. He has the physical presence, the pace, the close ball control, and I think that we were kind of lacking that building out from the back because we weren't holding the ball, and so that really gave us another option. And what a performance from Soboslai, man! He ran and ran and ran, and there's a couple times where like he's got to be subbed, right? And he didn't get subbed, and he just kept running and running.
Well, and there's a couple of times where he would do all that defensive work, and then I think on the ball he was, what it's like when you win the ball back. You can fight for the ball back when you're tired, but then when you try and stand up and be kind of make this simple pass or whatever, your legs are now like. So I saw that from him a couple of times. I do think he was kind of exhausted. It was interesting. He goes, Granberg comes out, and then Jones doesn't necessarily play deep. He plays a little higher.
No, because it's all about Endo.
That's right.
Like, let's be honest. Endo came on, and we won the match.
Again.
I mean,
goal when Endo came in. Again.
I mean, it kind of can be said that Endo has come on to be one of our most influential players this year. Like, if you just need someone to hunt the ball, if you need someone to sniff out the bit of danger, if you need someone to just be in that little position or whatever, dude, like that has been Indo. I've loved every minute of this like 80 plus minute Indo shit we've been seeing, dude, because it's just been he's been snuffing it out. Like you can watch him go hunting. Like watching him like watching the matches that he's come on late or whatever, and just watching him sniff the ball, like watching him like, okay, ball's here. All right, we're going here because this is where the danger is. Like that's something that I think sometimes like Indo knows that this is his job. And there's something to be said for that because too many times it can be said like, Gravenberg, like it's not just his job to sit back and be a six and like whatever. Like he has to turn and do fucking Gravenberg things or whatever, like but today it was even. I think it wasn't set up for let's go grab a winner. It was like, can we just not concede? And Indo helped that, but at the same time, that gives players a little bit of impetus to go forward a bit. Like maybe did it feel like Nunez to go and win that header because he knew that Indo was back there shielding and doing whatever. He can get across the ground real quick. Like he's not the fastest, but he's one of the smartest, dude. Like I will never forget Waturo Indo. Like if we go on to do things in this campaign, like and we win things in this campaign, I will not forget that man. And like he's the captain of Japan. He is a hard man. He is a warrior, and he like I rate the guy. Like I just fucking do.
And I think a little bit underrated is when he wins that battle. He doesn't just boot the ball away. He usually makes a pretty sensible, smart pass, right? It may not be like a beautiful, 40, 50-yard ball, but he finds a guy.
There.
Yeah.
He's just fucking there. Like
No, he was
that is a
critical
skill.
yet again. And I think it shows. It's been a number of games now he's brought him on, and he's getting a little bit longer time each time. And I think Slot is definitely starting to trust him. I mean, the fact that he put him in for the press conference, pre-match press conference, was pretty interesting, right? For a guy, normally that's a guy who's going to start. We all thought, I think a lot of people thought, well, that's kind of interesting. He doesn't start, but I think he always had in mind that he was coming on.
No, it's like the horses for courses. Like if you could make a substitution in a horse race, it would be fucking Waturo Indo.
We love Endo. At the end of season party, I'm gonna wear a fucking whatever the mouthpiece.
I'm there.
Yeah, we're doing it. The subs again. And we try to tell everybody, man, it's gonna take the whole squad. It doesn't take your fucking 11 players. It takes the. Yeah, you're exactly right.
I think we can say a word for Nunez without saying that he should be like, the starting number 9 for Liverpool for the next 5 years. We can still appreciate what he did when he came on, right?
Of course. I mean, we have so many people that are like, he should fucking be banished to the U21s, never played for Liverpool. Fuck off, dude. They all have a role on this team. Everybody's allowed to have a fucking bad game. But what we achieve is going to be that fucking group. And whatever happens, like I said, whatever happens summer. Don't fucking wish it now. We have things to fucking accomplish, man. And what we accomplished today on the road against a pretty fucking good team. Let's just be honest, right? They're a fucking good team. It's not going to be easy back at Anfield. And I think, but Slot's going to be fucking studying this fucking match and go, all right, now we know what we're up against. And because you know what?
Book one red.
Yeah. But I mean, let's be honest. The fucking Georgian Messi and fucking Dembele on the fucking flanks, fucking two good players. You have to double team them all the time.
Well, and I must say, for as much as I think the Anfield crowd and we'll play a different game, I think at home, but I almost feel like they could be just as dangerous, if not more, because if they decide to play a little bit more deep and hit on the break, all right, they have to get a goal, but so they won't be like totally back. But they're almost a more dangerous team, I think, if they sit back a little more.
They have to go for it.
Like surely Anfield is smaller than Parc des Princes. Like,
Shirley Anfield.
That's
Didn't
true.
you meet her when we went there? Shirley Anfield.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, we know the dimensions of our field.
It's not
You
a
know what I'm
huge
saying?
field.
Like,
That's true.
it's not, and it's smaller. We'll be on
Right.
top of them. They'll be on top of us. I mean, we wore them down. Also, like, I do feel like they after 65, they were a little less connected. and that is a thing. I mean, I think what they probably have the week off in Liga because that's what the continental like.
4-0 at halftime. No games.
It's just what the continental like leagues do, right? They allow you off for this. They want you to go through. They want you to prove that you can beat these teams or whatever, right?
They
So
adjust their schedule
no, like I mean, we play Southampton. Yeah, we're like Southampton. Will be we have to go there and we have to show up and we have to win. Like that's a bit of a thing for us. I mean, all in all, yes, PSG probably deserve to do better today than what they got. But will they get that at Anfield? I don't think so. I think we'll show up. It'll be different. The experience does a little something. Like having played them today, we know what they're about more. Like it has to do something for that, and I think for that we'll come through. But I'll take this again, obviously all over. Like if you want to like just come at us at Anfield and we win 1-0, like please. But Anfield don't get on the backs of the players. That's the only thing.
If there's one thing I think we know is that even if we're under the cosh at Anfield, I think that they'll be right behind the team. It'd be one thing if it was like some crappy team at the bottom of the league and we're getting beat
No, we
beat up.
should be right behind them.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this should
It will
be
be.
Anfield. Like if you have any other reason to ever get up for anything, like and Anfield like a night at like a European night at Anfield against PSG, the French,
Right.
like the this team. Like come on.
I think the Anfield crowd would recognize that this isn't a bunch of bums. They played freaking awesome PSG and they were a bit unlucky. And I think that's perfect for Anfield. They'll get behind the team and they'll be just like, blah. It's like Barcelona coming with Messi and Suarez. They'll be like, nah, we can do this.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, they'll come in there and they'll have to chase the goal, right? Which I think plays a little bit more for us, our strengths, because even today, we played counter, right? We wanted to counter against them. And I think that kind of goes to the last game that we played, when we played against City, like we were just playing the counter. And so the the fact that they're going to come and press a little higher, I think Slot will adjust to that. And like I said, man, it's gonna be this is what you play for, right? And I know that a lot of people are like,
The tie should
Hey,
be
we-
fucking over. Right
yeah,
now.
but I
let's be
mean,
honest,
it's
like it should be.
but I mean, it's like everybody's like, we shouldn't have got PSG. You're absolutely right. But what we did earn by finishing first is that the second leg is at home in every round. So we'll get through it and then we'll move on. But we still have to go win on Sunday against Southampton, and then we come back or Saturday. What's that? Kelleher does need to play. Our production crew says I think Kelleher should play on
Answer
the
in
weekend.
the comments if you think Kelleher should play.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, if you go to talk, you got to be in.
But
camera.
should he keep playing in form? That's the
Yes.
question.
He had a week off for this. It will be a week off. So yes.
Although
Yes,
some of the things-
I agree with our camera person Phil that Kelleher should play on the weekend. But anyway, in the wrap,
That's for another fucking edition, right? So
we're fucking
Pre-game
going back to
next time.
Anfield.
This time